Precious Remedies Against Satan's Devices, written by Thomas Brooks in 1652. This edition reprinted in 1968. We will continue on with the first device of Satan's to present the bait and hide the hook. We will continue on with the remedies. Remedy number 2. To consider that sin is but a bitter sweet. The seeming sweet that is in sin will quickly vanish, and the lasting shame, sorrow, horror, and terror will come to the room therefore. Though wickedness is sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth, yet his meat in his bowels is turned, and it is gall of asps within him, which means bitterness in his stomach. It turns sour. Forbidden profits and pleasures are most pleasing to vain men, who count madness mirth. Many long to be meddling with the murdering morsels of sin, which nourish not, but rend and consume the belly, the soul that receives them. Many eat that on the earth that they digest in hell. Sin's murdering morsels will deceive those that devour them. Adam's apple was a bitter sweet. Esau's mess was a bitter sweet. The Israelites' quail a bitter sweet. Jonathan's honey a bitter sweet. And Adonijah's dainties a bitter sweet. After the meal is ended, then comes the reckoning. Men must not think to dance and dine with the devil, and then to sup with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. To feed upon the poison of asps, and yet that the viper's tongue shall not slay them. When the asp stings a man, it does first tickle him so as to make him laugh, till the poison, by little and little, gets to the heart, and then it pains him more than ever it delighted him. So does sin. It may please a little at first, but it will pain the soul with a witness at last. Yea, if there were the least real delight in sin, there could be no perfect hell, where men shall most perfectly be tormented with their sin. Remedy number 3. Solemnly to consider that sin will usher in the greatest and the saddest losses that can come upon our souls. It will usher in the loss of that divine favor that is better than life, and the loss of that joy that is unspeakable and full of glory, and the loss of that peace that passeth understanding, and the loss of those divine influences by which the soul has been refreshed, quickened, raised, strengthened, gladdened, and the loss of many outward desirable mercies which otherwise the soul might have enjoyed. It was a sound and unsavory reply of the English captain at the loss of Calais, when a proud Frenchman scornfully demanded, "When will you fetch Calais again?" Replied, "When your sins shall be weighed down to ours." Ah, England, my constant prayer is for thee, that thou mayst not sin away thy mercies into the hands that cannot call mercy mercy. Remedy number 4. Seriously consider that sin is of a very deceitful and bewitching nature. Sin is from the greatest deceiver. It is a child of his own begetting. It is the ground of all the deceit in the world, and it is its own nature exceedingly deceitful. But exhort one another daily while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. Hebrews 3:13. It will kiss the soul and pretend fair to the soul, and yet betray the soul forever. It will with Delilah smile upon us, that it may betray us into the hands of the devil, as she did Samson into the hands of the Philistines. Sin gives Satan a power over us, and an advantage to accuse us and to lay claim to us, as those that wear his badge. It is of the very bewitching nature. It bewitches the soul. Where it is upon the throne, that soul cannot leave it. though it perish eternally by it. So sin bewitches the soul, that it makes the soul call evil good and good evil, bitter sweet and sweet bitter, light darkness and darkness light. And a soul thus bewitched with sin will stand out to the death at the sword point with God, lest God strike and wound and cut to the very bone. Yet the bewitched soul cares not, fears not, but will stand hold on the course of wickedness, as you may see in Pharaoh, Balaam, and Judas. Tell the bewitched soul that sin is a viper that will certainly kill when it is not killed, that sin often kills secretly, insensibly, eternally. Yet the bewitched soul cannot and will not cease from sin. When the physicians told Theotimus that except he abstained from drunkenness and uncleanness, he would lose his eyes, his heart was so bewitched to his sins that he answered, "Then farewell, sweet light," and he had rather lose his eyes than leave his sin. So a man bewitched with sin had rather lose God, Christ, heaven, and his own soul than part with this sin. Oh, therefore, forever take heed of playing with or nibbling at Satan's golden baits.